I'm live with Eddie Abasolo. Today we're gonna look into the mindset of Eddie Abasolo. This is a part of the series Beyond the Fighter, where look closely to how fighters think. I started off as a joke, by the way. Somebody came to me, and we were just talking about life in general, and they went like, "Oh, you're pretty smart for a fighter," and I was like, "What do you mean by that?" It's like I can do more than punch and kick, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how have you been?
Man, I've been good, man. You know, this this quarantine that's going on right now, it's been more beneficial than it has negative. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Um, I've seen just paying attention and slowing down, you know, uh, it feels great, man, not having to be in a rush. You know what I mean?
mm,
Oh, like, even though I'm at the gym all day, I got to get to the gym. When I'm
yeah.
at the gym, I got to get this done. I got to get that done. When I'm training, like, I'm constantly just trying to push, push, push because I'm away from my family all day. So it's like I'm making a sacrifice and I got to make it worth it. If I'm not training, then I'm just, sacrificing for nothing. Man, uh, I can get up. I mean, it still requires a little bit of discipline,
Yeah.
because for like a couple weeks, I lost all discipline, you know, just being stuck in the house, going to sleep when I want, waking up when I want, taking naps, several naps a day. I mean, if our kids are willing to let us, playing video games,
Mm.
just eating whatever I want, not running. And then, like, eventually, like, that gets old quick, man. You
Yeah.
know, eventually all that fun isn't fun no more. Like, uh, with this discipline, I just been able to, like, okay, I get up, I know I got trained today. In between rounds, now I get to play with my kids, so I'm not such in a rush. Everything is just kind of like chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like
But
that breakdown.
how's yours been?
Sorry, sorry.
I said, how's yours been? How's your
It's amazing to be honest. Like, at first I was like, oh man, when they closed down the gym, I was like, ah no, not here as well. But
Yeah.
then I was like, maybe I should like see the good in this. And it took me like me being grumpy for like an hour and be like, "Ah," you know.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like,
Yeah.
I can use this period of time and then use it to my benefits. And it didn't take long. It started with something stupid, but it started with like me just cleaning my room,
Yeah.
and that just gave me momentum. And after a while, I was like, you know what? I didn't have the best relationship with my parents because of the lifestyle that I chose. And I was like, I have all this time. Maybe we should just try to reconnect. So
Yeah.
we basically reconnected, and now we're on good terms. Although
Yeah.
I haven't told them about my new tattoo yet, so I keep that for later. But it's like
Yeah.
I have the same thing like you. Like life slows down, and I just make the most out of it right now.
Yeah. That's dope, man. I think I mean we all have a natural ability to adapt and adjust, you know what I mean? Whether we realize it or not, sometimes we make it harder on ourselves than it needs to be. But um like, yeah, worry is a part of it because we have to feel it. We have to go through that emotion to get to a certain place, but
Yeah,
after we worry, like, I everything always works out some way somehow, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I agree. But I feel like this is like a weird period of time because well, we've never had something like this. Like everything is on lockdown right now. That's very
Yeah.
weird. And then like if we're honest, like nobody knows what's happening right now. Like we have
Yeah.
no clue. Even if you look at the media is kind of spreading fear, and then you have the theories on the internet, and it's like, well, I mean, all this sounds appealing, but it's like, what's true, what's not?
Yeah. Well, I feel the exact same way. Um, which is why I don't really like to debate with people or this and that, because I know that whatever I know is the information that I know is limited. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's limited to the truth, uh,
Hmm.
and of what's really going on. And if there's, say, just for example, there's five scientists, in that lab or whatever, whatever that everyone is saying or what everyone's talking about. But this is just to give an example. If there's 5 scientists in there, they each have their own perspective of what's going on. I mean, yeah, it's all related, but they all look at it a different way. Everyone receives information a different way. They may understand it the same, but uh, the way it makes them feel, or you know what I mean, the way it
Yeah.
affects them. Uh, you know, some people may look at it as, oh, it's not a big deal. Some are looking at it as, oh my God, this is just, it's crazy. And they're both right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, I'm not, I don't like to debate over stuff like that. Uh,
Mm.
One, what does our debate accomplish? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true.
Or how does that get us any closer? I mean, unless it's like a respectful debate, whatever the topic may be. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it is a weird time, man. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
when I look at my kids and we chop it up and stuff, me, I've grown. I've seen things. Um, Not everything, not yet, hopefully, but I've seen things and been through things in different times and different changes in the world. And like my daughter's 10, my son is uh 5, and my other son is 1. This is all they've known. So
Yeah.
this isn't really new. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I mean, other than the years that they've already been going to school, but they're still kids, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
uh, they still don't know how the world is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
since this is happening, it's just kind of like uh, it's literally a moment in history that we're in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty insane. For your kids, this might be like a prolonged holiday or something. This must be amazing for them.
Oh man, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Like again with discipline, like we still need discipline. They still
Mm.
need to do their work, their studies. We'll have like outside time, this and that, and just making sure they're sharp. They're still sharp for when they go back to school, or just sharp for life. You know what I mean? We get to teach them what we believe in, and at the same time, it's like we also have to um, help them understand that we don't know everything at the same time, and we're still trying to figure it out. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's huge when trying to teach someone something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other than it just being like in a system where the teacher knows it all, you know,
Mm. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and there's no arguing, there's no other way to look at things, there's no this and that. Um, it's almost like a private lesson. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So right now you're kind of homeschooling the kids.
Yeah. Well, my wife is. She's doing more of it. She's doing a great job actually. My son, he actually knows how to read now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's good. Yeah.
Well, I don't have a family yet, and I don't have a girlfriend, but this must be an amazing time to have like a family right now and
Oh
spend with them.
man,
Like,
it's a party. It's a
yeah.
freaking party, bro. It's a circus. Sometimes it's out of control. You know what I mean? But it's it's crazy. We don't really know who the people that we live with are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We know them from our interaction with them, but what about the times where like I'm in the living room and my son or my daughter is in their bedroom playing, or you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
or when I'm at the gym, or when my wife is at work, or the kids are at school. You know, like we're really getting to know each other a lot more, and realizing that there's a lot of pieces that we didn't know about from each other. You know, which is cool.
Yeah. I think it's an amazing thing. I had that when they closed down the gym, and there were like some rumors that they're gonna shut down the island. I was
Yeah.
like, oh damn. Because like all my friends, they're like still in Belgium,
Yeah.
while I'm in France. Fuck. I do like so much for the sport, and then I'm there and I'm like, ah, damn it. That's one of the things that made me realize like, oh, I need to talk to my parents. Like this needs to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just because everybody started leaving here. Like as soon as they started to close the gyms down,
Yeah.
like everybody started panicking. They was like, "Oh, this is getting serious," and I was like, "Maybe you should wait it out a little bit, you know? Maybe
Yeah.
you should give it like a day or two because you're acting on emotions right now." But
Yeah.
once the panic set in, they were like, "Oh," and they left and they paid like so much money for their flights, and then and it's like insane, man. Like 2,000 euros for a flight that normally is
Yeah.
like 500. That's insane.
Gee.
Yeah,
Gee.
and then this is like the worst part. Then they arrive home and then they send us messages. Oh, we miss it, and I'm like, oh come on, man. Like, just wait it out. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I don't know how California is right now, but like we're still kind of pretty free to do what we want. How
Well,
is
for
the
us, we're getting like they're issuing out tickets. You know what I mean? If you're out for like non-essential, or
mm,
if you're closer than 6 feet to people, um, and these are incidents that people that I know have gone through. You know,
mm,
someone got a ticket for not being 6 feet away from someone, um, and
holy shit?
it's like, yeah, you know what I mean. Gyms are
Yeah.
closed. Uh, Everyone's just out here wearing a mask, just 6 foot rule, all that stuff. Um, but it's cool. You really don't. I mean, because we don't appreciate something until it's gone, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all spoiled in some one way or another, um, and whatever we're spoiled with, it gets overlooked, because
Yeah.
we're in such abundance of it, that sometimes we lose appreciation of it. Um, I'll be out at the store or something, and I'll see one of my friends, uh, or a loved one. Well,
Mm,
all my friends are loved ones. So, uh, and my initial reaction, the type of person I am, is, what's up? I give you a hug and everything. You know what
mm,
I mean? Like, I love all my peoples. Um, so to not be able to do that, you know what I mean? I'm just like, it feels weird.
yeah.
I know it's what needs to be done, for the time being, but it's just like that connection. Even the conversations are getting short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People don't want to talk to each other for too long. This and that. Everyone's like trying to distance themselves, which it needs to be done. But it's like, man, um, I've always said like the reason why I'm so like, what's up? Whenever people come to the gym, new people or whatever, or I'm just open to whoever, is that the one of the keys. There's no like key to life. I feel like
Mm,
life is just a big old janitor keychain. You know what I mean? There's hella
yeah.
keys, uh, but one of them is acknowledgement. Acknowledging each other, and a little bit of knowledge acknowledgement will go a long way. Just by saying hi to someone, you could have
Yeah.
stopped them from making a terrible decision that they couldn't turn back from. You know what I mean? Stuff like
Yeah.
that. It happens. So it's like now that we can't really do that, you know what I mean? It
Mm,
sucks. You know, it really
yeah. It's true.
it sucks.
There's like a, you're right. Like there is a realm of freedom that is taken away right now. But also,
Yeah,
it's like if I look at it, it's like we also have like one benefit because like with the jobs, well, nobody has a job anymore. Most people. So there's like a lot of time right now for well family, but also reflection, stillness, just um, improvement in general. And I think that's a good. Well, I hope that's a good thing. I'm kind of. I think Kevin said it best. He said like people are either gonna get worse from this, they're gonna stay the same, or they're gonna get better. And it's like I was like, yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen.
yeah.
How did
Well,
you?
how did I what?
How did you? Because you said at first you like you kind of slacked off and started eating whatever you wanted, and
Yeah.
play video games, and like how did you turn that around?
Um, discipline. Discipline
Mm,
is a to sometimes most of the time a heavy word. We hear discipline and we shy from it just because as I feel like, and I'm no psychologist, but this is just what goes on in my mind. I feel
yeah.
like growing up discipline was only issued, or the word discipline was only issued when we were in trouble. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's like, nah, hell nah, I don't want to be disciplined. You know, just hearing discipline is like, hell nah, I'm staying away from that.
Mm.
When really discipline is just doing little things, you know, gaining momentum. Like going cold turkey, it's cool, and it's if you can do it, you know, it does something else to your growth.
Yeah.
Positive, of course. You know what I mean? Because it's a
Hmm.
harder task to go cold turkey on something. It's harder up here. Um, but just small things here and there, and uh, just wanting to be better. You know, um, it's like no one else can see me but my family right now. You
Yeah.
know, not doing well. Not that I ever was, but still, it's a different feel when you don't step out your house a lot. You know, you just feel isolated, which I mean, that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
But just want to be better for myself. You know, if I'm better for myself, I can be better for my kids. You know, leading through example. These are just things that I would think about that slowly made me want to like, okay, let me just make sure I'm staying disciplined. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I watch how my daughter will treat, you know, her younger brother. Um, she'll lack patience with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And lose it. Uh, and she'll say things, or her mannerisms, or whatever. It'll remind me of myself, of when I'm losing my patience with them.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So by seeing that reflection, it makes me want to be like, okay, you know, let me, because I know it all strings together. Let me clean up
Mm.
my diet just a little bit, not just for my weight, but for my mental. You know,
Yeah.
if I'm not eating right, I just start to feel like crap, and if I feel like crap, you know, I can't be in a good mood to be patient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just I already feel like I'm in a rush. So it's just these little things that I wanted, and when you just want to, I feel like when I just want to change myself, everything falls into place. You know,
Mm.
instead of setting out to be like, okay, I'm gonna lose weight. You know, within the next 2 weeks, I want to be skinny. I want to lose my weight. It's like, nah, what causes the weight? You know, it's like it's not just the weight, it's the little habits that we do. Going to sleep late, you know, having a messed up sleeping pattern. It stresses our body out. Weight gain comes from stress. You know what I mean? Stress, you start overeating, you know, and then uh, I'm sad because I eat, and I eat because I'm sad. You know what I mean? That type
Yeah.
of deal.
how uh, how do you keep mentally sane during this period? Because, well, first of all, you have the self isolation, which, like, for some people they might like meet themselves, but then you also have, like, of course, you said you don't debate about it, but these theories are still circling around on the internet. Like,
Yeah,
I've read into them multiple times, and sometimes they make me go batshit crazy. I'm like, oh, the world is insane right now.
yeah.
You know, it's
Well,
like,
I mean, for me, it's because I know that there's uh I don't have like one stand.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I like to question things. You
mm-hmm,
know, already. So when things are being questioned, I question the things that are being questioned. You know,
mm,
so sometimes things sound believable. Sometimes they don't. And I mean, if you really want to lie to someone and get past them, you got to feed them some truth, you know,
mm,
and slip the lies in there, and stuff like that, you know, and vice versa, you know. If someone's always lying to you, you get accustomed to like, oh man, you know that he's always full of shit, you know. Then they can start saying, confessing shit to you, and you know what I mean. They'll slip right by. Oh man,
yeah,
he's just BSing. You know, just stuff like that. I just feel like that's how it is with the media as well. You know,
yeah,
they cover what's gonna get attention. You know, and
yeah,
even manipulate it to a point.
Yeah,
I mean, we all do. Whenever you tell a story, oh yeah, I was there. This would happen. We stretch the truth a little bit,
oh, for
because
sure.
if it doesn't sound exciting, then they're not gonna want to listen to us. And it's like,
Mm,
so it's the same thing with the media. I
mm.
feel like.
So right now you kind of avoid the media.
Uh, I remember, um, what's his name? Denzel Washington said something like, if you watch the news, you're too informed. If you don't watch the no, if you don't watch the news, you're not informed. If you watch the
Yeah,
news, you're misinformed. Something like that. You
yeah, I
know,
know what you mean.
you gotta pick. You gotta just pay attention. You know,
Mm,
just stepping out the game uh, will be lost and will be unprepared. If I just step back and say I'm not in this, I mean we're in it whether we want to be or not. But to
yeah,
just be absent, I mean not absent, but not a factor. You know, uh, it's not helping the cause. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Or your cause, or the way you deal with it, or how it affects you, or this and that. Um, so I mean, I pay attention, and like whatever whatever I get from it, I'll question it, and I'll believe whatever I believe. Some of the conspiracies I'm into, know what I mean? Some of the stuff I believe, it's just like it's just information. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I even got a question on why I believe it. Stuff like
yeah.
that. It's just never ending
Oh
because
yeah,
as soon as I come to a point, something else is changing my train of thought.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot of information out there right now, so
Yeah.
it's hard to. That's why I try to avoid it, but I know every time I go into the rabbit hole, it's like,
Oh man, me too. Me too. Like I love conspiracies, man. I love it. You know, I love reading up on them. I love watching them. Like whether they're outlandish or not,
yeah.
they're just fun to believe in.
It's
Some of
funny.
them are like man, like that can really be true.
Yeah,
And you never know.
it's funny that you mentioned that because, well, first of all, I didn't know you were into this as well. But so every time I have a podcast guest, I mention it on my Instagram, and I'm like, if you have questions, just send them in my DMs, and I'll ask them at the end of the podcast. And somebody goes like, how can you and Eddie, and they asked the same thing with Kevin, like, how can you guys have a conversation? I was like, how do you mean? And they were like, well, they have an opinion, but you're way more outspoken than them. Because sometimes I just share things that I find on my Instagram.
Yeah,
And I was like, well, you can still have a proper debate with people because in the end it's just about finding balance. And maybe I'm more outspoken, but that doesn't mean that you can't have like a proper conversation.
yeah. Nah, man. The thing is, it's just bound. Really, I know that my facts, uh, they're not all true. I'm gonna
Yeah,
believe in what I believe in until I'm proven wrong. And when I'm proven wrong, you know, uh, for the most part, I'm grateful
yeah,
because when I'm proven wrong, it lets me know that I'm not walking around still looking like a fool, saying saying stuff that's not right.
yeah,
So the thing is, it's like we just bounce ideas off each other, and it's like, um, in my opinion, like uh, whether there's a winner or not in a debate,
yeah.
uh, even the winner has had their perspective changed, even a little bit. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But this is the thing. Th- Well, this is how if people want to debate with me, I'm like, I'm always interested in like another point of view because I always
Yeah.
say I'm rather wrong from time to time than ignorant my whole life. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's always interesting, but I never try to win the debate. It's like more like, what can I gain from this? Like, do I gain a new
Yeah.
perspective, or,
Yeah.
or do I like see something which I don't necessarily agree with, but maybe can take away a little bit?
Yeah.
It's like, but I had I had people attack me on social media, like,
Oh
they were like,
yeah.
oh man, that was insane. I there was like this one girl, and she sent me like a Bible of arguments, and I was like, I'm not even gonna read this. You know, it's like
Yeah.
these days I just figured out when you share something and it's like it's about politics, they like try to put you in like these boxes.
Yeah.
And so basically some people were like, you're a Trump supporter, and I was like, hold on. It's like, first of all, I'm not American, so this argument makes zero sense. Like,
Yeah.
second of all, whether you like him or not, he also does good things. I think
Yeah.
we all have to agree on that. And it's like,
Yeah.
and then third of all, why do you need to put me in a box? It's
Yeah.
like there's no happy medium here. It's like, what are we doing?
I feel
You
like
know?
the people that do that, that try to, place people in boxes, they really don't have that much information.
Mm,
Even if they do, you know what I mean? Even if they read up on so they can debate, you know what I mean? Because that's what they
yeah.
love to do. Um, it's just like you could tell by some of the things that people say that they're just saying programmed responses. You know what I mean?
Mm,
There's really no search for the truth like that. You're a Trump supporter. It's like, man, that's like the most common thing.
yeah.
Like that's just an insult now. It's like saying your mama. you know? It's like it's up there now. It's
Yeah.
like uh eh, and
That's,
there's no you know what I mean? There's no real like weight behind it. You know? It's like how do you know that? You know?
yeah. Well, yeah.
You're just saying stuff.
And then the arguments after that, the arguments got weirder and weirder. It's like, well, eventually I tried. You know, I always am open for debate, so I tried, and then eventually the argument about the medicine came up, and her argument was like, you don't have a degree, and I was like, well, I can read facts. You know, it's like if
Yeah.
10 doctors say this works, this might actually work. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, but you don't have a degree, and it's like this is going nowhere. It's a weird time.
Yeah. I know, man. I mean, I get it. I get why some people do it because, you know, I'm into video games, right? And like, I'm not as bad now because my kids are sitting right next to me. But
Mm.
man, I used to just like my favorite thing was trolling. Was just trying to argue with people and mess with people and make them frustrated. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like not even play the game right. Just like uh, try to mess with them and get under their skin,
Uh-huh.
cause it's fun. You know what I mean? But like even when it's done to me, it's fun. It's funny because I know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's all harmless.
Mm-hmm.
But that's everywhere. You know what I mean? Even in politics, people just want to have fun by arguing. You know what I mean? They don't really care whether you're a Trump supporter or not. They just want to argue with you. You know what I mean?
I feel that because of the abundance of time, people just look for stuff to fill their time because this has been going on for like a month. I don't even know how long this is going on.
Yeah. What the
The
COVID?
lockdown.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I mean, I know
No.
COVID, but well, can't remember when it started. It's funny that you mentioned though that you like to troll people. I was wondering why. Well, I'm just wondering it now. Why didn't you take that approach to fighting? Like just trash talking to people? Is it something that you don't like it, or because that's kind of the same?
Yeah. Uh. Uh. Hold on. My battery's about to die. Let me go get the plug because I don't want to get into it and then it just cut off.
Yeah, that would be bad.
All right. Yeah. All right.